everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, 2026, and this is Flosstube video number 92. I am back with my weekly update, and I got a lot of progress with my husband watching all of the soccer games. I have been able to really kind of rock and roll on all of my projects. So let me go ahead and get into it. It's been 1 week since I was able to film, so I'm glad that I'm still hitting the milestones, but I don't know if that will continue for the summer. But we only have a few more weeks because my kids always start back to school the first week of August. So just a few more weeks of me being sporadic and not being on time, and another few more weeks with me being down in the dungeon, aka the basement. So, like I said, I will kick it off. Project 1 is lavender and lace. Okay, so I am working on Lady of the Thread by Lavender and Lace. And I have recharted her dress into purples. There's the Pattern Keeper mock-up. I recharted this in Floss Cross, and it's done pretty good going into Pattern Keeper. However, the other lavender and laces that I have beads in it, and Floss Cross doesn't have beads. So I'm going to need a new way to rechart those. Okay, so here's my piece, the whole thing. So since the last time that you saw it, I had one of these yellow colors on my needle. So I finished out all the yellows and I came down and I started working in these colors and such. And I have actually zeroed out 7 colors the last time that I stitched. So yeah, I'm in the home stretch, guys. I'm in the home stretch. So I got to work on this on July 1st, and it has not come back up on my wheel again. So this was only the work over here from July 1st. And I got to work on it 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 23 seconds. And that has taken my total project time to 72 hours, 17 minutes, and 31 seconds. And I put in a total of 491 stitches. And I'm now at 9,994 stitches out of 17,306. And I'm at 57.75%. So I am just over halfway with this piece. Now, like I said, I zeroed out 7 colors. So I now have 9 total colors that I have zeroed out and finished. So yay, progress. This one will probably be coming up again soon in my wheel. That is 14 count Aida from, it's either Charles Craft or DMC. And the color of the fabric is, it's a number, not a color, but it's like a gray stone or kind of pebble kind of color. Okay, so that was project 1. Project 2 is, where did it go? There. I have things all over the place. Project number 2 is the Dutch Beauty Sampler. and I am up in this corner right here. Now, the last time I filmed, I said that I was going to finish out the flower parts up here, and I did. I finished out all of them. And then I stitched down, and then I finished out a little bit of the tree in here, and then I finished stitching the tree and the fruit, and I did the second bird, and I started on this lion down here. Now, this morning, when I was looking at it, I noticed that up here I am a stitch off in here. So all of this row is one stitch two over. And as I was looking at the project, down on the last page, on the very last page, page U, some of the things are going to come up into this. So I'm going to have to frog this whole section. I'm going to have to frog it and fix it because otherwise, so up here, there's like a guy that's going to be stitched like right here, and he is like there's one space between him and the piece. And I thought, okay, well, if everything is going to be just one space away, or that is supposed to be one space away, is like going to be touching it, that's going to be fine. And this page and the page under it would be fine, but the very last page, there's pieces that are going to that go into where it is, and I'm just afraid that it's not going to line up. So I have a couple hundred frogs to frog, but I'm so close to being done on this top row. So I got to work on this on July 3rd, and then it also came up on my wheel again on July 6th. So on the 3rd, I put in 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 31 seconds. And that brought my total time to 110 hours, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds. And then on the 6th, I put in another 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 54 seconds. So it's now brought my total time to 113 hours, 43 minutes, and 53 seconds. And Merlin's joining us. Okay, so when I worked on those, I got to put in 530 stitches on the 3rd, and then a 604 stitches on the 6th. So I'm really, really rocking and rolling. Okay, project 1, project 2, project 3. Okay, so this one I have also worked on twice. All right. I'm really excited to be working on this one. It's been a while. So, project 3 is Chatelane's Misty Morning Vineyard. And I purchased this from 123 Stitch. Now, the problem with this pattern is that everything is in black and white, and you really can't see or tell what the back stitching is supposed to be. And even the written directions are not very helpful in letting me know which back stitching colors are supposed to be where. Now, I've heard that the electronic version is in color. And I said that I was going to go ahead and purchase the electronic version, and I did. So I do have the electronic PDF, and it is in color. And I have found out that I have been stitching this because I'm a middle out stitcher, and so I'm stitching this just like I normally would, but I found out that it's going to be a lot easier to stitch this in the way that it's sort of listed in the electronic PDF, because this was like a mystery stitch along originally. And so like she released they released it in parts. And so I'm now going through and changing the way that I'm stitching it and doing it right. So here is, I know, it's so much. It's so much that I've done. Here is where I am. And so the last time you saw it, I had this and I had some of the tail. And so like I had just a few stitches stitched over here. And so I stitched out this and over here. And I stitched down this and I've added some colors and stuff into the tail. And I made the decision I'm not going to be going to the thread store anytime soon. And I've been unsuccessful in purchasing these silk threads online. So I did make the decision that the color that I was missing, I am using the DMC conversion, which is this, it's over in here. It's a light, like blue-green, seafoam green, sea green, mist green kind of color. And so it's like, I'm sure that it was like a color change silk, but without it changing colors, I don't think that it's that noticeable. But so I did all the stitching in there, and the few bits over here that I was missing, I stitched it. So like I said, now with the color version, I saw that it would behoove me to do it in the way that it's listed instead of how I normally stitch. So I have started, I'm going to finish this center motif and I'm going to work on it and I'm going to do the back stitching as I go since it was charted that way. Yeah, so so I've made things a lot harder for myself. I may even purchase the beads. I believe that my local fabric store has the beads that I don't have to go all the way up to Denver to like get them or anything. So I think I will end up doing the beads and the back stitching as I go. But what happened was over here, as I was stitching things like I normally would, there was an error in this pattern. And I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a bead or if it was supposed to be a stitch because it had both symbols over top of each other. So I purchased the electronic version so that I could try to figure that out. And then in doing so, I was like, oh, I'm going about this the completely wrong way. Let me stop what I'm doing and do this how I should be doing. So, I got to work on this July 4th and I put in 4 hours, 54 minutes, and 4 seconds. And that brought my total time to 38 hours, 44 minutes, and 1 second. And then I got to work on this yesterday on the 7th, and I put in 4 hours, 21 minutes, and 13 seconds. And so that's brought my total time to 43 hours, 5 minutes, and 15 seconds. So, yeah. This fabric is 32 count fabric from, where's my tag? My tag is all the way over here. This is Fiberliscious Yummy Fibers. It's called Dreamweavers, and this is the 32 count opalescent Lugana. I always forget to tell you my fabrics. Okay, so that's project 3, and then project 4 is this Plaid Bucilla kit. It is called Four Seasons, and I am up here in the spring quadrant. I made the decision that I'm doing all the back stitching first before I move on to the summer quadrant. Okay, so here's where I am. I completed all of the stitching around here and in through these little motifs in here, and I have done this in here, so now you can see that it says spring. And then I've been working on doing back stitching in through here. I have done the butterflies, and right now I have a pink color on, so I'm working on the back stitching in these trees. I've done the back stitching in the clouds. So, I mean, I have a little bit more back stitching in this centerpiece before I move over here and do the back stitching all around there. But yeah, so I'm just doing the back stitching in this, and I think it's coming out beautifully. So this one, I got to work on this on July 2nd. I put in 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 50 seconds, and it's brought my total time to 33 hours, 18 minutes, and 52 seconds. All right, so that is my 4 main projects. Now, I told you a few weeks ago I was going to work on FFOing something, and I did. So for the state fair, there was a category for cross stitch for a 3D item, and since I had already planned on turning this into a pillow, I turned it into a pillow. So this was a Plaid Bucilla kit. Donna Dewberry was the designer, and this was called Hummingbird and Floral. And I gave myself inch borders the whole way around. So I picked a beautiful purple with gold accents. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the fabric is the purple and gold. And I thought that it went quite nicely with the purples that are in here. Like I said, I put a edging on the edge of the pillow. I handmade my tassels out of embroidery thread. So I picked a pink color that was in the piece already, and I made my little tassels. Can you see? Not really. The top of the tassels, I have a little, I always called it the Chinese ladder, the way that I did it up through here. So yeah, so this is one of my fair entries. It is FFO'd. It is a cross stitch. This was done on 14 count Charles Craft Aida that I hand dyed myself. Not that you can really tell in this lighting, but it's in blues. It's supposed to look like the sky behind the hummingbird. So it's done in like very light blues, very pale blues. And yeah, so I got 4 tassels. I've got my ribbon. So this is my FFO. Yay! So that's heading towards the state fair in a couple of weeks, as well as all of the other things. The county fair opens this weekend on the 11th, and it runs until next Saturday. I'm not sure what day me and my family are going to go. We might not catch it opening weekend. We might not catch it until next weekend, but we'll see. We'll see. So that brings me to my temperature projects. I didn't get as much temperature stitching done because of the holiday. My husband was home on Friday as well as Monday. So that was like, I don't get my normal stuff done when everybody's home with me, especially my husband. So I only got to work on temperature projects 2 times, once last week and once this week. So temperature projects are because I have so many projects that like I get overwhelmed when I'm like, you know what, I have a few spare minutes. And a lot of my time is dedicated towards my cross stitches, the 4 projects that I focus on each month. So I thought, let me jump on the temperature project bandwagon. I don't do just stitching, I do lots of other things. But let me come up with some projects that are either half done or something that I want to start on so that when I have a spare 30 minutes or so, I can work on my temperature project. And that's what I do. I sort of combined the daily 30 with my temperature projects. And so I do dedicate 30 minutes when I sit down to do my temperature projects. And what I do is I look at the temperature for each day in the morning, and I look at what the projected high is supposed to be. And then I work on what project that coincides with. So with 10 projects, I labeled my projects 0 through 1, or 0 through 9. 0 through 9. And like I said, the temperature, the second digit of the temperature is going to be what coincides with each project. So for temperatures ending in 0, I work on the Doctor Who diamond painting. I do that every time. I should just call it the Diamond Who from now on. Temperatures ending in 1 are the Pansey crochet blanket. Temperatures ending in 2 are the purple landscape printed cross stitch. Temperatures ending in 3 are going to be a Smurfette corner to corner that I started ages ago. Temperatures ending in 4 are French beaded flowers. Temperatures ending in 5 are monk's cloth, Swedish weaving, or Huck weaving. All 3 names, you can Google it to find the same techniques. Temperatures ending in 6 are the butterfly printed cross stitch. Temperatures ending in 7 are the purple baby blanket. Temperatures ending in 8 are the peacock printed cross stitch, and temperatures ending in 9 are the granny square crochet blanket. So with that said, on July 2nd, it was 89 degrees here, and the 9 goes with the granny square crochet blanket. So this is the book that I am working out of. Patchwork Afghans Through the Year, and this is book 2. This is copyright 2001. I am working on this blanket right here. It is called the May Star Flower, and I just sort of changed the colors. And what I did, I don't know if I got impatient and didn't stitch all of the purple squares, or if I did stitch them all and then I've somewhere lost them. I don't know. I've not come across a bag of random purple squares. So I'm going to assume that I got impatient and started stitching everything together. But I'm at the point where I'm out of purple squares, and so I have to crochet more purple squares in order to keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I need 2 more purple squares, and then I can start stitching this square together. But here's the blanket. I have stitched it. No. Okay. Here's the top. So I have stitched the top together. and I stitched the second row of flowers together. So I am on this third row of flowers, and so that's what I'm doing. So I do have, like I said, I have my width, and then I have my length. So this is how big the blanket is going to be. I just need to finish it. And then I get to have the fun job of stitching in all of these threads on the back. Alright, so yeah, so I've just been crocheting up little squares, little purple squares. Like, I'm pretty sure all the other squares are done. I'm just crocheting up the purple squares so that I can finish it. Okay, and then the other project that I got to work on was, okay, on the 7th, it was 87 degrees here. And so the 7 is the purple baby blanket. This is called the Bashful Teddy Blanket from Mary Maxim. When I purchased this, this was a whole kit that included everything, including all of the balls of yarn that I would need. The only thing that it didn't have was the crochet hook, which I have tons. I have tons of crochet hooks. So this is what it is supposed to look like. This is the actual pattern. It is a fillet crochet. I am down here where the yellow highlighting is. So I'm just down there. Still at the very bottom. Okay, so here to here is the bear's feet. Oh, you can't really see very well. It's so hard to show because of how floppy this is. Right now it's wider than it is longer, so it curls up as I'm trying to pick it up and show it. But I have teddy bear's feet, and the edge. Yeah. Once I get probably another 20 rows in, I'm hoping that it'll be a lot easier to show. But this is one, I had the kit purchased a long time ago. I never started it, so I'm using temperature projects to start it, finish it, and, you know, do it. So that's it. That was my 4 projects, my FFO, and the 2 temperature projects that I got to work on this week. So with that said, I will either see everyone next week or it'll be 2 weeks by the time that I film. I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but very quick video this time, I hope. And yeah, so I will see everyone either next week or in 2 weeks. Bye for now.